Good afternoon. On behalf of the faculty and staff of Mooers Elementary, I would like to welcome you to our annual spring concert. We appreciate you taking your time to be with us today. Today we will hear musical selections from our 4th and 5th grade chorus, from our 2nd graders, our recorder ensemble, our 5th grade band, drumming group, and a few solos. I would like to thank our music teacher, Mrs. Spalding, for her work, as well as our band director, Mr. Aaron Robertson. They and our students have worked very hard to put on our production for today. Before I introduce Mrs. Spalding, I would like to take a moment, if I could, to thank Mr. Calvin Castine for again agreeing to tape our programs here at Mooers. We're very fortunate to have his level of dedication to the efforts of our students. He does have CDs available for the performances available, and if you like one, if you just indicate that and send in a note to the teacher, I believe they're $10, we'll make sure that you get that. And of course, this airs on Hometown Cable Channel 24. So at this time, would you please make welcome Mrs. Spalding.
Please rise as the 2nd grade does the school song and the national anthem.
I'd like to announce our reading teacher. Mrs. Sarah Duffy is going to be reading Caps for Sale for us. And the class is going to be acting it out and also singing the songs. Thank you.
Caps for sale. Once there was a peddler who sold caps. But she was not like any ordinary peddler, carrying her wares on her back. She carried them on top of her head. First, she had on her own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. She walked up and down the streets, holding herself very straight so as not to upset her caps. As she went along, she called,
Caps for sale, caps, 50 cents a cap.
One morning, she couldn't sell any calves. She walked up the street and she walked down the street calling, but nobody wanted any calves that morning. Nobody wanted even a red calf. She began to feel very hungry, but she had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," said she. And she walked out of town slowly, slowly, so as not to upset her calves. She walked for a long time until she came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought she. And she sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk as not to disturb the caps on her head. Then she put up her hand to feel if they were straight. First her own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. They were all there, so she went to sleep. She slept for a long time. When she woke up, she was refreshed and rested. But before standing up, she felt with her hand to make sure her caps were in the right place. All she felt was her own checked cap. She looked to the right of her, no caps. She looked to the left of her, no caps. She looked in back of her, no caps. She looked behind the tree, no caps. Then she looked up into the tree, and what do you think she saw?
Monkeys!
On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray, or brown, or blue, or red cat. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. She didn't know what to do. Finally, she spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," she said, shaking a finger at them, "you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at her and said, This made the peddler angry, so she shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at her and said, Now she felt quite angry. She stamped her foot and she said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at her and said, By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. She stamped both her feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at her and said, At last, she became so angry that she pulled off her own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap. And all the gray caps, and all the brown caps, and all the blue caps, and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up her caps and put them back on her head. First her own checked cap, then the gray cap, then the brown cap, then the blue cap, then the red cap on the very top. And slowly, slowly, she walked back to town calling,
second grade continues to file off, I'm going to introduce a couple duets. The first is Annie Steinfeld with Dylan Rabideau, and they're playing Old MacDonald Had a Band. And we'll have the band members come on first. Go ahead. Okay, wait a minute, Dylan, wait a minute. I gotta make sure they're out.
Our next soloist, or duet, will be Nisa Rabideau at the piano, and I'm helping her a little bit, because her fellow person was sick today.
We are the 5th grade band, and we're going to be performing a few selections for you. And as you can see, every concert, it seems like this band gets bigger and bigger. So that's really good. They've been doing really well. And the first song that we're going to play for you is Rolling Along, and you might recognize that as something else. So that was Mary Had a Little Lamb. The next piece we are going to play is Mozart Melody, and you'll recognize that as Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. next selection we will play is Ode to Joy, and then the last selection we'll play after that will be Hard Rock Blues.
I'm going to have Tim Bedard and Stephen LaValle come down and play Hot Cross Buns, and Holly Bass afterwards playing Alouetta. Our recorder ensemble usually practices in class, and so they've only gotten together as a group together today. And they are doing really well, what that means. This isn't a bad thing, this is just stop, which is hard to get all those recorders to stop. Our first song is Beach Blanket BAG. Our next song is "Oh When the Saints Go Marching In." I'd like to thank my helpers. I have Matt Jalper, Emily Sample, Alex Gagno helping me today, and they're doing a wonderful job. Okay. Just this one. I was here. 1, 2, and you guys. 1, 2. Our next song, we have different recorders, and this year we've been starting to use them in 5th grade. Can I ask those who have the tenor recorder and alto recorders and sopranino recorders, and then just the regular recorders. And so you see we have 4 different brands of recorder there. And we're going to play Ode to Joy, favorite of everyone's. Last song, or actually second to last song, is Hot Cross Buns. And the 4th graders are playing the melody, and 5th graders are playing the harmony, and 5th graders be a little quieter because 4th graders aren't as loud as you. And this, they're actually using notation.
Ready? On our last song, they're all back to the soprano recorders. And this is Who Let the Recorders Out? Can you guys get this stand out? Thank you. Because it goes quick. Watch. Guys here. I need Emily. Oh, no, you sing afterwards, sorry.
And while they're going off, and we're getting set up for our next song, we're going to have Matthew Stein play Yankee Doodle on the piano. And now Brian Royer will play Mary Had a Little Lamb. While they're coming on, I'm going to tell you that the first song features recorders, singers, and instrument players who are going to play a little bit softer than they have been, and egg shakers and drummers, and they do very well on it. And it's kind of our own arrangement. We took the song and put it together with music.
Our next song is a medley. Oh, I forgot. You guys. Come on back up. I was good at this. Okay, you guys come on down. Our next song is a medley of the I've Been Working on the Railroad and the Wabash Cannonball.
All the live long day.
a group of soloists, and so I'm going to ask them to move now without talking. It is God Bless the USA. You guys can bring that chair forward. Get rid of things and you slide this one.
And tomorrow all I have is gone, all I hope to see, and I had to start again, just like friends and family. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA. There's pride in every American heart, and it's what I'll stand and say. That I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
You guys, the rest of you guys go up. And who else?
Okay, as they go off, I'm gonna have Emily Wisco sing. Or what is it? Thank you, Verishaka.
All right, we'll wait for them.
Hashem
I'll have Kayla Glano and we're waiting for one person. Melanie Adams and Kayla Glado come and do Jingle Bells. While my drummers right now can walk on and be quiet as they walk on. Now, as the rest of my drumming group comes on, I hope, they put together this piece themselves. I gave them 4 poems. They came up with a rhythm for the 4 poems, or for the 1 poem they decided they liked. Drumming group, you can come on. Come on. And then what we did is we put together some ostinatos that they made up themselves. Ostinatos are rhythms or songs or things that go over and over again. In this case, they made up about A through H, whatever that is. And then what we do is we say the poem together, we put it together, then we put the ostinatos together, they play them by themselves, and then as a group, and then finally, we put the whole thing together, and I am slowly cutting one by one each group out. This is having to do the weather, and it's called Evening Red and Morning Gray. Everybody see this? We're in this for the big job. Is that here? You get a drum too, Dylan? You need a drum. Okay, so Dustin's going to get a drum. We have 2 big drums. And we have a bunch of other instruments. We have tambourine and a wood drum. And we have some triangles, and we have some tone bells, and we have a piccolo block, and a bunch of other drums. And we'll see if Tyler's coming, and if he isn't here in about 30 seconds, we'll go with him. Just need 1 drum. 1. Oh, yeah, it's your sample. That's her favorite instrument. Okay. All right, we're gonna go. If he comes in, we'll catch him. Oh, you know what I need? I answered it. There we go. There we go.
Evening red and morning gray are the signs of a bonny day. Evening gray and morning red bring down rain on the farmer's hay.
drop. Drizzle, 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 drizzle.
Falling on the farmer's head. Rain falling on the farmer's head. Rain falling on the farmer's head. Rain falling on the farmer's head. Rain, 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 rain. Drip, drop, drippity drop, drip, drop, drippity drop, drip, drop, drippity drop, drip, drop, drippity drop. Rain, snow, sleet. Rain, snow, sleet. Rain, snow, sleet. Rain, snow, sleet.
And thank you for coming to our concert. Thank you.